This is Rob Tebbutt for ID Boxing. Delighted, as always, to be joined by Chris Eubank Jr. We're here at the Chris Eubank Jr. Liam Smith press conference. How are you, Chris?
Exquisite.
Finger licking good.
Absolutely. Just like the Colonel said.
Talk to us a little bit about that. You're donned out in the KFC. You've got the KFC kicks. God, I'm hungry just looking at you.
No, I mean, yeah, the jacket is it's what it's all about, you know. I'm part of the KFC family now. They're sponsoring the fight, my training camp, providing me with nutritious food whenever I want. It's a privilege.
Yeah, well, I'll be probably putting some money in your pocket indirectly later on. So there we go. I'm kind of like an estranged cousin for the Colonel. But anyway, enough about the food. Let's talk about the boxing. You're fighting Liam Smith on pay-per-view on January the 21st. Talk to me about the fight.
What can I say? It's going to be fun. It's going to be everything that fans want it to be. You know, our styles gel so well together that it can't be a boring fight. You know, this is going to be the type of fight that you can rewatch over and over again.
You said that Conor Benn was a more difficult fight than that. I think the general consensus is from the paying public, so to speak, the boxing audience, that Liam Smith will be a tougher fight for you. What makes you feel that Conor Benn was a more difficult opponent than Liam Smith?
Conor Benn's undefeated. He has the youth, the energy, and the hunger. He has that unknown, unpredictable aspect to him, which is why I think that it would have been a tougher fight than what Liam is going to bring. I know what Liam is. I can see what he is, and there's no surprises. There's no tricks up his sleeve. He is what he is. He's a very ABC type of fighter, and I'm going to exploit that.
You've shared the ring in Sparring before. What can you tell us about those sessions?
Nothing. It was years and years ago, and I genuinely don't remember what happened. I know I did spar him at Amir Khan's gym. And the fact that I can't remember it means that it was very uneventful.
Roy Jones Jr. back in the camp for this. Of course, he was not a part of the training team for the fight that never happened with Conor Benn. Explain the reasons why.
Yeah, so it was, it was a British fight. It was a British fight, and I wanted my old man involved also. I definitely couldn't have had that happen if Roy was at my side. I wanted Ronnie in the corner because obviously he was in my corner for the fight that Nigel and my dad had. So and Roy understood that. But I said, every other fight except for the Benn fight, I want him with me.
What's the goal for you now? Janibek Alimhanuli is a name that has been mentioned around your name, the WBO middleweight champion. Is it still to be a world champion, or is it just the bigger fights and the biggest fights possible for you?
Both. I want the titles and I want the big fights. Sometimes you can't get both. The Benn fight was one of those instances. This is another one. This is a huge fight, but it's not for a title. But it's going to garner more interest than Janibek. Nobody knows him in England. Nobody cares about him. They care about a Smith. But yes, after this fight, 100% we're looking to hunt down those belts.
I'm sure you're not looking past Liam Smith and the threat that he potentially brings to the ring on January the 21st, but you mentioned what potentially could come after. Canelo Alvarez, it looks as though he's looking to have a dance partner in May. Is it him? Is it Gennady Golovkin? What next? Is it Conor Benn potentially? What next for Chris Eubank Jr. after this?
That's the exciting thing. There's so many names. There's so many options out there. All the guys you mentioned and more. It's just who we can pin down. It's just who has the balls to step into that ring with me. But yeah, the options are endless, and it will be a big fight, absolutely.
I mentioned his name there, Conor Benn. Of course, we were almost there back in at the start of October. Is that a fight that still appeals to you at all? Are you interested in that fight potentially happening next year or whenever that could be made?
Of course, that fight will always be of interest to me now. And now we have our own story. Now it's not, their dads fought, so they have to fight. Now it's, they have their own beef. They have their own reasonings for wanting to get in the ring. Will the fight happen? I don't know, but I'm definitely still interested in it if and when it comes about again.
That story between you and Conor now, irrespective of Nigel and your father, how do you feel about it? What do you have animosity towards him, considering everything that happened? How is that Chris Eubank Jr. Conor Benn relationship now?
He disappointed a lot of people. He messed up. He has to answer for the mistakes he's made.
Okay, Chris, I appreciate that you're very much pressed for time here, so I'm going to leave the final word with January the 21st against Liam Smith. How does that fight end?
How does it end? I don't know. You're going to have to wait and see. But it will be fun. It will be exciting. It will be a fight that you're going to be able to watch again and again over the next few years. That's the type of style that Liam has, and it's going to gel so well with mine. It's going to be a hell of a fight.
Chris Eubank Jr. victory?
Absolutely.
Chris Eubank Jr., always a pleasure. Thanks very much for speaking to ID Boxing. Look forward to catching up with you soon.
Okay, thank you.